Good to have another brother here.
Good to I've played a lot of Watch Dogs 2 in the past, but I'll tell you someone else who's been playing Watch Dogs 2. It's only bloody Mike Stubbs. Mike, how's things?
Things are good, especially because I've been playing Watch Dogs 2. Boom.
Well, why don't you talk about it and let all our lovely watchers and listeners and readers know just how good Watch Dogs 2 is. Did you enjoy it? Because I enjoyed it.
I did. I actually really enjoyed it. Like, it was... We got to play a good chunk. It was at least 3, maybe 4 hours we got to play. And I didn't want to finish. Like, when old matey came up and was like, "Oh no, it's time to finish," I was like, "Oh, but I'm halfway through a mission," and he was like, "Oh, well, I can give you another 5 minutes." And then I kept playing, and then the PR that was like looking after us had to come over and say, "The taxi is outside. You need to leave now," because I just wanted to keep playing, which is a really good sign. Because like,
absolutely,
quite often when you're at a preview event, you're kind of like, right, I've played enough to know what I need to know. I'm kind of done, but this was like, boom, I want to be in it, I want to play.
Seems like you was enjoying it more than thinking of what you needed to find, if that makes sense.
Kind of. Yeah, like, it was... The thing that surprised me the most is how varied it was, like, what you actually did, because we got to play... I think we got to play the very start of the game, and then some, like, really early missions, and then we got skipped further into the game so that we could see what it's like when you're actually a bit more skilled up.
I presume I just played the open world bit that you skipped to, so that's the level playing field we're both on.
So, like, the first intro bit was like a tutorial where you got to hack into this place, and it was a bit meh. Like, if it was kind of like if you've played any open world game in the past 2 years that involves any kind of sneaking around, infiltrating, and stealing something, you know exactly what you're doing. And it was a piece of piss, really. Like, the developer even commented, like, "Wow, you're a really quick player," and I was like, "Well, yeah, because I just walked past all the guards that are idiots." But that was a tutorial, so that's fair enough. And then after that, like, you're doing it to try and prove yourself to DedSec, which is the big hacking group. And then because you do really well, they're like, "Oh my god, you're the best. Can you come help save the world with us?" And you obviously go yes, because why wouldn't you go yes? And then this is the one part that I kind of didn't like. The main, or at least from what I managed to see, the main sort of gameplay, not gameplay mechanic, but the main goal is to get more followers, like Twitter followers, which is pretty bollocks. Like, I don't care about that. Like, doing missions and shit like that will get you more followers, and I don't really see how having more followers is going to help you do whatever you need to do, like shooting people in the face.
It's all about the revolution, man. The virtual revolution on the internet, man. What do you think of the tone of the story and stuff? Because it's a lot more happy-go-lucky than its predecessor. And I was torn because I think Marcus's mates, are all wankers, but I kind of like Marcus. He's a chill dude.
See, I kind of agree. I don't think some of them are wankers. Like the guy with the face mask.
Yep.
I can't stand him. He like pisses me the fuck off. But the kind of, I don't really know how to describe him without being mean, but the guy who's like a big nerd and doesn't really do social interaction and stuff.
Yeah, I know exactly who you mean.
Like, I kind of quite liked him. Probably because I kind of know people that are like that in real life. But like, yeah, like you say, Marcus. The thing that I remember turning to the person I was sat next to and saying, sort of after an hour or two, like, I don't really care about him as much as I probably should, but I don't instantly hate him like I did Aiden Pierce. Like, the first Watch Dogs, you walk in and you want to deck him straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. What I liked about him is that his mates are all kind of nutters and mad stereotypes of hacking kind of culture, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? He's kind of like the player. He's just as shocked and like confused by it all as we are. So it's kind of grounded him a bit.
Yeah, that does work. I think I hope that he becomes a character you can become kind of emotionally invested in, because there was a few sort of hints at him having a bit more depth, but obviously because it was a bit early on, it didn't really show us all that much. But yeah, that was kind of let's just say he is a much better character than Aiden Pierce. So
absolutely,
and that was the thing that I hate the most about Watch Dogs 1. So this is already off to a good start. But like, after we met them and they told me that we need to find followers, we were given a couple of missions, and I think one of them was like a main story mission, and one of them was, I think it was a side mission, but was kind of a false side mission, like you probably want to do this. But it gave you the main story mission and gave you the brief for that. So I was like, right, I'll go do that. And then as I'm walking out the building, it like comes up with this other mission story. And do you remember Martin Scarelli, the guy who, this is in real life, the guy who ran the pharmaceutical company that like put up the price of a drug like 800%.
I do think I know. I think I know what you're on about. Yeah, it does ring a bell.
He also owned an esports team and failed to pay them. And then I think he got arrested, and then he was rumored to have bought that album that no one else got.
A young lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So basically, this side mission is a direct rip of his story.
Cool.
It's like, old matey at pharmaceutical company has raised the price of these drugs. Let's go fuck him up or something.
Cool.
And it was like, it kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable because that. I don't know if it's because I've done quite a bit of research about him because of the esports connection and shit like that. I don't know if it's just because I know a lot about it and it's not quite as clear cut as it seems. And I mean, fair play if you've got the balls to raise something like 800%. But it kind of felt a bit uncomfortable that was so close to real life.
It immediately reminds me of the GTA mission when you blow up the in-game version of Zuckerberg, and I think I kind of like it because what I wrote about when I went to play it is that how the tone and the story kind of really does riff off a lot of stuff that's happening in real life. So I don't know if you saw the opening like trailer / spiel of it all, and it was saying like file leaks, and so it was very Snowden, very spy, all that type of stuff. So it seems like they're taking a lot of real life concerns and controversies in the last few years and implementing into the game.
Yeah, I get that, but I just didn't quite feel that this sat right with me, so I didn't do it. I went and did the other mission, which was alright. And I think I ended up doing about 3 missions, and the one that sticks out in my head as... Well, there was one that had a load of crane puzzles, which we might talk about later, and that was kind of cool. But like the coolest one by far is there's a movie studio, and for some reason you don't like them. I can't quite remember why. And they've got this... In fact, no, main man Marcus loves them, and Mandingo with the face mask loves them, but they decide to like fuck him up anyway. And they've got this car that's like an AI car that is part of a movie that's meant to speak to you and shit. So they decide to steal it. And this was kind of the first real time that we got to try the stealth properly, because the stealth is really fucking good.
I agree.
So it's in like this small compound that's guarded by like 4 or 5 guards.
Yeah, okay.
And you've got to like sneak in, but instead of just like sneaking in, grabbing a key card and then sneaking out, you've got to sneak in, unlock like a big ass lorry, get in the back of the lorry, get in the car, and then drive the car out and start a cop chase.
Yeah, I think I did this as well.
Yeah, but like because you've got to like getting to the lorry isn't easy to start with, but then you've got to open it and shit, and they can see you as you're opening it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of time it perfectly, which adds that extra little bit of depth. And the stealth is actually really good. Like if it was just a stealth game, I think it could actually pass as like a pretty decent stealth game.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an emphasis on stealth this year. I remember like so there was a mission, because I didn't get the tutorial, the beginning bit. There was a few missions where what I was meant to do wasn't well explained, and I was quite lost. So I had to infiltrate a Bloom like server building or whatever, and I could have done it with my drone easily, but at first I didn't realise. So I tried sneaking reconning it. Then I went in, and I just got bored because I didn't realise what I was doing. So I went in and I tried shooting them up, and I just got blown to bits because I was so outnumbered. So it's definitely not like you can kill everyone. And I think the way you approach missions is a lot. Yeah, like, there's an emphasis on stealth, but also with the drones, it's not like you're weak, because with the drones, I think the drones are quite a cool addition to Watch Dogs and very fitting with what the modern time we're setting. So what do you think of all the drones and the stealth play itself?
Yeah, so there was another mission later on where I think there was like some voting machines that had been rigged to make someone win a vote that wasn't meant to win, or obviously that's pretty illegal, rigging like a general election. So old man Marcus, which is what I'm going to call him now because of Gears of War, decided it was a good idea to go blow these machines up so that the election would have to be delayed so that they could hack the person that fixed it and then reveal all their secrets and make them look bad so that they wouldn't win the real one.
Yeah, reasonable.
So, like, they're in this, like, they're in a really heavily armoured building. Like, there's tons of guards and stuff. So I went in and was like, oh, there's some conveniently placed like scaffolding and ladders. I'm sure I can climb up that, sneak in, and then destroy them. So climb up that, sneak in, get on the roof. There's like 7 snipers. I jump in like in front of them to get onto the roof. They all kill me instantly. I'm like, shit, maybe that's not a good idea. So then I'm like, hang on a minute, I got a drone thing. I'll use that, scout it out, find out where they are, and then you scout it out, like look down, and you just see so many people. You're like, how the fuck am I going to do this? And then I remembered that your drone thing, like when you upgrade it, has got bombs on it, so you can drop like a bomb from your quadcopter. So, like, because I'm a smart guy, I was like, hang on a minute, I could do this all from the drone. So I flew the drones over to the machines, blew them up, flew over to the next set, blew them up, did it all, didn't even enter the building. Felt like a badass. And then the person that was stood behind me watching me, I think he was one of the developers, said, I can't believe it took you that long to figure it out. I was like, oh, you bastard. I felt like such a badass.
Yeah, and I do like that because it really reminds me of like hacking, so like Mr. Robot and stuff like that, hacking films where someone will sneakily sit in a van or something, lie back in the car so you can't be seen and just on the laptop doing it. I think it just really hits good vibes, and especially with Watch Dogs 2, the influences from Mr. Robot are very clear to see. I remember when I first watched the trailer for it, I had to like check the Watch Dogs voice acting to make sure Darlene from Mr. Robot wasn't in it because someone sounds so similar. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Watch Dogs. You know, it seems like it just keeps everything about it's just much more improved than the first one, doesn't it?
Yeah. See, I actually said this. I said something. I think it was on the train, and a couple of us were having a conversation. Like I was saying, this year, games-wise for me, it's all about COD 4 remastered, Skyrim remastered, and Civ 6. Like that was based, so 2 remasters of games from like what 2007 and 2011, and Civ 6, which is like the best game ever. And like that was all I said. I was like, they're the only things that I really care about. And then on the train back, I was like, I'm gonna add Watch Dogs to that list because that kind of made me interested. Like I would probably go out and buy it now. Which I would say is a ringing endorsement from me.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think of the city itself, San Francisco? Because I think that was my favourite thing about it. I think it's one of the most well-realised open worlds. I really liked it. I've never told you the story. So there was a point where I went into an Italian restaurant. Sorry if you've watched the previous video, because you're going to hear this story again. I went in and I heard music. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I went to the back and there was a geezer playing the accordion. And I was like, oh, I'm going to dance to this. So with the emojis and whatever emotes that you've got now that you can character, I started dancing to his music. And then the people in the restaurant started like clapping and cheering. And I think that's so cool because the world feels tactile. I'm interacting with it in a way that isn't shooting it. And I'm being reacted to in what I'm doing. I just thought that was really fucking cool. And I just thought it made the world feel really alive.
I didn't really experience too much of that, but then again, I didn't really go looking for it. I kind of mainlined the story. But like the world, it's like the actual physical map and the layout of it seems really weird because if you look at the map screen, like what 75% of it's probably water.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
And like there's a bit in the top left which is so small that it kind of doesn't really need to be there. And it's just like straight roads connecting it, and it's like, oh, I have to go there. Oh,
yeah.
This is
I'll be intrigued
so boring.
I'll be intrigued to see how that works in the full game because it's the Bay Area, isn't it? So it's a massive gulf of water. But I really like how the maps, Google Maps. I think that's so fucking cool. It looks brilliant.
Yeah, and I like the phone itself. Like you can go to the App Store, and like there's loads of different apps that you can download, and they all have different functions. And it's like if you want to use like their personal MP3 player that lets you play any song whenever you want, it's like I think that's $3 of in-game money, and it's like that's cool. That's quite cool.
Well, sounds like we're both quite excited for Watch Dogs 2. It'll be exciting to see when it comes out later in November, I believe.
Yeah, it's really soon actually.
Yeah, it's mad. Everything's coming at once now.
Yeah, I think it's late November. Yeah, that would make sense.
If you want to read words on Watch Dogs 2, you can go over to GodisaGeek.com for loads of writing, previews, reviews, everything you want on video games. You can stay here on youtube.com/GodisaGeek for loads of visual game talk and visuals and stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at @McBroskate. You can follow Mike on Twitter at Mike Stubbs. You can follow us both on Twitter at GodisaGeek. And that's just about it from us. So see you later.